All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, controversial figures in entertainment, Simon Cowell. For more than 2 decades, this is the guy who basically architected pop culture, turning Saturday night TV into this massive global event. And today, we're going to figure out exactly how he did it.
Oh yeah, you know the phrase. That one line pretty much kicked off a whole new era of television. His brutally honest, almost cruel feedback became his signature, right? He was the judge everyone tuned in to hate. But you know, behind those high-waisted pants and zingy one-liners, there's a wild story of failure, grit, and an absolute genius for engineering pop entertainment.
So that's really the big question, isn't it? In this explainer, we are going to break down how a guy working in a mailroom went from being nearly bankrupt to cracking a formula that built a billion-dollar entertainment empire.
So here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll track his journey from the mailroom to making his first million. Then we'll decode the actual formula behind his huge TV hits. We'll look at the sheer scale of his global empire and then ask the question, has the magic faded? And finally, we'll see how he's trying to reinvent himself for a whole new generation.
Okay, so let's get right into it, because before all the TV fame, Simon Cowell was, well, he was struggling. This is not some overnight success story. It's a story about grinding it out in the absolute trenches of the music industry.
So if you look at his early career, it was just one failure after another. His dad got him a job in the mailroom at EMI, but he couldn't get promoted. He starts his own record label, Fanfare, but it completely collapses in '89, forcing him to move back in with his parents. I mean, to make ends meet, he was making novelty records with puppets and even the Power Rangers. Seriously.
And then this happened. This was the lightbulb moment. He saw 2 actors singing Unchained Melody on some TV drama and just would not let it go. He hounded them until they agreed to record it. The song became the UK's best-selling single of 1995. And that one hit didn't just make him a millionaire, it gave him the entire blueprint for his future. Find talent on TV, package it for everybody, and then just watch the money roll in. So with that success under his belt, he was ready for his next move. Cowell basically took what he learned from that one-hit single and decided to apply it on a scale that really nobody had ever seen before. He started creating entire TV shows designed specifically to manufacture pop stars. And just look at how fast he took over. It was incredible. In just 5 years, he launched the 4 show formats that would go on to just dominate television around the world. He didn't just create a TV show, he built a repeatable, exportable machine for finding and monetizing talent. So what was the secret sauce? Well, it was this perfect mix of reality TV drama and a classic talent show. You had the good cop, bad cop judges. You had the heart-wrenching sob stories that got you emotionally invested. You gave the public the power to vote, so they felt like they were part of it all. And right at the center of the storm was Cowell himself, playing the villain that everyone secretly, or not so secretly, loved to watch. And here's the kicker. That whole Mr. Nasty personality, it wasn't an accident. It was a strategy. It was a carefully crafted piece of the show's brand. That brutal honesty, those put-downs that made you gasp, they were literally designed to make headlines, stir up controversy, and keep people talking week after week. It was pure entertainment engineering. And the thing is, the formula didn't just bring in huge ratings, it actually produced real, legitimate stars. Cowell's production company, Psycho Entertainment, it became a pop music factory, turning contestants from his shows into massive, chart-topping global artists. I mean, the scale is just staggering. The Got Talent format alone has been sold in over 70 countries. That makes it the most successful reality TV format in history. His shows became this cultural phenomenon everywhere from America to the Philippines. It just proved that this formula had a truly universal appeal. And this is why it was such a big deal. The shows weren't just TV, they were a direct pipeline to the top of the music charts. I mean, think about it. One Direction, Little Mix, Fifth Harmony, these are some of the biggest pop groups of the last 2 decades, and they were all born on his shows. He didn't just discover stars, he literally built them from the ground up. But you know how it goes. Like any empire, eventually cracks start to show. After years and years of dominating the airwaves, audiences started to get a little tired of the same old formula that once felt so revolutionary. The king of talent TV was suddenly facing a bit of a rebellion. And this comment from a user on Reddit, it just perfectly captures what a lot of people were starting to feel. What once felt so authentic and unpredictable started to feel, well, manufactured. For a lot of viewers, the magic was just gone. You can really see the change when you put the early days side by side with the modern shows.
Remember the first seasons of American Idol? They felt raw, kind of dangerous even. You never knew what Simon was going to say. Now you contrast that with recent seasons, which so many people say feel overproduced, with way more focus on tragic backstories than actual raw talent. The sharp-tongued judge has gotten softer, and that unpredictability has been replaced by a very familiar and maybe a little tired script.
But look, Simon Cowell did not get to where he is by standing still. He's seeing the declining ratings, he sees the media landscape changing, and so he's trying to reinvent his formula for the digital age.
And this pivot isn't exactly new for him. I mean, way back in 2013, he was already playing around with YouTube talent searches. But now, it feels like he's going all in. He's bypassing the old TV networks for global streaming giants like Netflix and using social media as his #1 way to find people.
His newest project is the perfect example. Instead of some big TV announcement, he just put up billboards with this super simple message at a hashtag. He's talking directly to a generation that lives on their phones, making an audition as easy as making a post online.
So the new model is crystal clear, no more waiting in line for hours at a stadium. Now anyone from anywhere in the world can just scan a QR code and upload an audition tape straight from their bedroom. He's using technology to create this massive, borderless talent search.
And yet, even Simon Cowell himself admits that his biggest success ever was, well, it was something special. He's described creating One Direction as catching lightning in a bottle. You know, that super rare mix of talent, timing, and chemistry that is almost impossible to do twice.
And that really is the ultimate question, isn't it? The rules for getting famous have completely changed. K-pop groups like BTS have forged a totally new path to global stardom. TikTok can make someone a superstar overnight without a TV judge in sight. Simon Cowell built his empire in one era, but can his formula actually work in this new one? Well, I guess his next act is about to begin.